not obsessive attention, not controlling attention. Awareness, the ability to notice, to listen, to observe, to understand, because every human being wants one thing: to be understood, not controlled, not fixed, understood. And the person who understands others deeply gains influence naturally, not through force, not through tricks, but through insight. That is the hidden lesson. Most men spend their lives trying to impress women. The wiser man studies human nature. And once you understand human nature, you stop chasing, you stop forcing, you stop pretending. You become calmer, more patient, more observant, more powerful. Because true power is not controlling someone else's mind. True power is understanding your own. And when a man masters himself, he becomes difficult to manipulate, difficult to deceive, and impossible to replace with shallow distractions. Remember this. The man who constantly seeks validation loses himself. But the man who understands people without becoming dependent on them walks through life with clarity. And clarity is one of the rarest forms of power. The deepest understanding is not learning how to control her. It is learning how to see clearly. Because when you see clearly, you no longer need to chase answers. The patterns reveal them for you. There is something most men never understand about women. A woman is always watching. Not necessarily your words, not your promises, not your intentions, your behavior. Because behavior reveals what words try to hide. A man can claim to be confident, but confidence is not something you announce. It is something people experience. Women notice this immediately. They notice how you react when ignored, how you react when challenged, how you react when things do not go according to plan. Because pressure exposes character. Anyone can appear strong when life is easy. The real person appears when life becomes difficult. And women pay attention to that more than most men realize. This is why emotional reactions are so revealing. An insecure man becomes desperate. A weak man becomes defensive. A dishonest man becomes inconsistent. But a disciplined man remains centered. And centered people are rare. That rarity creates attraction. Now here is something deeper. Most men spend their energy trying to be liked. Deep thinkers spend their energy trying to understand. Those are two completely different goals. The man seeking approval becomes predictable. The man seeking understanding becomes powerful. Because understanding reveals hidden truths. For example, a woman may laugh at your jokes. That does not necessarily mean attraction. She may enjoy your company. That does not necessarily mean trust. Many men confuse positive emotions with emotional investment. They are not the same thing. Real investment is revealed through consistency. Consistency of attention. Consistency of effort. Consistency of curiosity. Because people make time for what matters. Always. The average man focuses on moments. The intelligent observer focuses on patterns. And patterns never lie. This is why patience is so important. Patience allows truth to emerge naturally. Without forcing it. Without chasing it. Without manipulating it. The longer you observe people, the clearer they become. Eventually, everyone reveals themselves. Their values. Their priorities. Their emotional maturity, their integrity. Time exposes all of it. That is why wise people never rush conclusions. They understand that first impressions can be misleading. Some people appear confident but are insecure. Some appear strong but are emotionally fragile. Some appear kind but are highly manipulative. And some appear quiet while possessing tremendous depth. Surface appearances mean very little. Character lives underneath. And character takes time to discover. If you're still watching, subscribe to the channel. Because the next lesson separates emotional thinkers from strategic observers. One of the greatest mistakes men make is becoming emotionally dependent on outcomes. They become attached before understanding. Attached before observing. Attached before seeing reality clearly. And attachment creates blindness. Once emotions take control, objectivity disappears. Suddenly red flags become excuses. Contradictions become misunderstandings. Warning signs become invisible. This is why emotional discipline matters. Not because emotions are bad, but because emotions can distort perception. A calm mind sees more clearly. A desperate mind sees only what it wants to see. And what you want to see is often different from reality. This is where many men lose their power. They stop observing. They start imagining. They create stories inside their heads. Stories that may not even be true. Meanwhile, reality is sitting directly in front of them, waiting to be noticed. Deep thinkers avoid this trap. They stay grounded in facts, in patterns, in observable behavior. Because assumptions create confusion. Observation creates clarity. And clarity creates confidence. There is another secret most people ignore. People reveal their priorities through sacrifice. What someone is willing to sacrifice for tells you what truly matters to them. Time, energy, attention, effort. These are valuable currencies. Watch where they are invested. That is where the truth usually lives. A woman may say many things, but her investments tell the real story. And the same applies to men. This is not about judging people. It is about understanding them. Understanding creates wisdom. Wisdom prevents unnecessary suffering. The deepest thinkers understand this. That is why they remain patient, calm, observant. They are not looking for perfect people. Perfect people do not exist. They are looking for genuine people. And genuine people reveal themselves over time. Not through speeches. Not through promises. But through repeated actions. That is why maturity changes the way a man approaches relationships. He stops asking, "How do I make her like me?" and starts asking, "Who is she really?" That single question changes everything, because it shifts your focus from validation to understanding. And understanding is where real power begins. Remember this carefully. The goal is not to control her. Most men make one mistake when trying to understand a woman. They listen to what she says, but they never study what she does. And that is why they remain confused. Because human beings rarely reveal themselves through words alone. Words can be rehearsed. Emotions can be hidden. But patterns always tell the truth. A woman may tell you she is fine. Her behavior may tell you she is disappointed. She may tell you she wants space. Her actions may reveal she is testing your emotional stability. This is where most men fail. They react to words. Powerful observers react to patterns. Machiavelli understood something timeless. If you want to understand people, observe what they reward, not what they claim to value. Because actions reveal priorities. Always. A woman may say she admires confidence. But pay attention. Who receives her attention? Who influences her emotions? Who commands her respect? That is where the truth lives. The average man chases approval. The intelligent man studies behavior. and the dangerous man understands psychology. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel, because what you are about to learn will change how you understand attraction forever. Most women communicate indirectly, not because they are deceptive, but because emotions are complex. They often reveal themselves through subtle signals rather than direct statements. A change in energy, a delayed response, a sudden increase in attention, a decrease in enthusiasm. These small details carry information. The average man ignores them. The observant man notices them, and the deep thinker understands them. That is why emotional intelligence is more valuable than appearance. Many men spend years improving their looks. Very few learn to read human nature, and human nature controls everything. Attraction, relationships, trust, respect, influence, all of it. A woman is constantly evaluating, not necessarily consciously, but psychologically. She notices how you respond to pressure, how you handle rejection, how you react when things do not go your way. Because confidence is not what happens when life is easy. Confidence is what remains when life becomes difficult. And women notice that more than most men realize. This is why emotional control is attractive. Anyone can remain calm when everything is perfect. But calmness during uncertainty? That is rare. And rare qualities attract attention. Most men become emotional investigators. They overanalyze every message, every emoji, every interaction. They chase certainty. But uncertainty is part of human relationships. The more desperately you seek reassurance, the weaker you appear. Because desperation communicates fear, and fear destroys attraction. Machiavelli would tell you something uncomfortable. People value what appears valuable, and value increases when something is not easily controlled. That includes attention. That includes time. That includes emotional energy. This does not mean playing games. It means respecting yourself. There is a difference. A man who respects himself does not beg for attention. He does not force conversations. He does not chase validation. Because his identity is not dependent upon another person's approval. And that creates psychological strength. If you are still watching, you are already learning what most men never understand. Subscribe and join those who study human behavior instead of being controlled by it. One of the greatest mistakes men make is confusing attraction with attachment. A woman can enjoy your presence and still not trust you. She can admire your success and still question your character. She can be attracted to your confidence and still wonder whether it is genuine. Trust and attraction are different things, and deep thinkers understand both. Trust grows through consistency, not promises, not speeches, not appearances. Consistency, because consistency reveals character. Anyone can pretend for a week. Few can maintain authenticity over time. That is why patience reveals truth. The longer you observe someone, the more their true personality emerges. Masks become heavy. Eventually they fall. And this applies to everyone, including you. That is why self-mastery matters. The strongest position in any relationship is emotional independence, not emotional coldness. Emotional independence. The ability to care without becoming controlled. The ability to love without losing yourself. The ability to remain centered regardless of circumstances. Most people never achieve this, because they confuse attachment with connection. Real connection strengthens identity. Unhealthy attachment consumes it. Women notice this difference. more than you think. A woman feels safest around a man who is emotionally grounded. Not emotionally perfect. Grounded. A man who understands his emotions, controls his impulses, and remains calm under pressure. Because emotional chaos creates uncertainty, and uncertainty destroys trust. Now here is something few people discuss. A woman's interest is often revealed by investment. Not words. Investment of time. Investment of attention. Investment of curiosity. People invest in what matters to them. Watch where energy goes. Energy reveals priorities. Always. This does not mean becoming suspicious. It means becoming observant. There is a difference. Suspicious people assume. Observant people verify. Deep thinkers verify. And verification prevents self-deception. Many relationships fail because people fall in love with imagination, not reality. They create stories. Ignore red flags. Ignore contradictions. Ignore patterns. Then reality arrives. And reality is always undefeated. That is why understanding requires observation. Slow observation. Patient observation. Objective observation. The more emotionally attached you become, the harder it becomes to see clearly. Emotion creates blind spots. Awareness removes them. This is why the deepest thinkers rarely rush. They understand something powerful. Time exposes everything. Character, intentions, integrity, loyalty. Patience reveals all of it. And patience is a superpower in a world addicted to immediate answers. A woman cannot be understood through manipulation. She can only be understood through attention. Genuine attention.